This top mathematician firmly believed that if he could find that integer between 3 and 4, he could break through space and time, and even step into the fourth dimension. But this theory completely overturned common sense. Everyone thought he had gone insane, and he was eventually sent to a psychiatric hospital. To make him recognize reality, the psychologist poured candy beans on the table and asked him to place the integer between 3 and 4. The professor quickly placed 3 candy beans, but hesitated when placing the fourth one. He kept picking it up and putting it down, unable to do it. Seeing this, the doctor cruelly exposed him, saying the integer simply didn't exist. But right after he finished speaking, the professor suddenly exploded in rage. He flipped the entire table and screamed hysterically that some mysterious force was stopping him. He begged the doctor for a pen, wanting to calculate that number with formulas, but the doctor refused without hesitation because he didn't want him to be trapped in this madness any longer. The professor felt hopeless, but then he suddenly noticed a marker lying on the floor and secretly picked it up when the doctor wasn't paying attention. Before the nurse dragged him away, he pretended to swallow the candy beans, but actually grabbed a whole handful. Then he was sent to room 304. The doctor originally thought he was just crazy, but something strange happened. The time it took the elevator to go from the 4th floor to the 3rd floor was significantly longer than all the other floors. It made the doctor feel unsure of what was real anymore. When he replayed the interview recordings, he remembered the professor's theory about space. The professor once compared humans to ants, who could only perceive a flat world, unable to understand 3D space just like humans can't perceive higher dimensions. But even so, the doctor still found it ridiculous. He decided to go outside to clear his mind and think of a way to treat him. But the moment he sat down in the bar, a plate of peanuts suddenly cracked open by itself. Then he looked up and saw the professor writing formulas like crazy on the glass window. The doctor chased after him, but when he turned into the alley, the man had already vanished. Instead, an old TV appeared out of nowhere, playing a news report from years ago about a man who died in a car accident, yet police could never identify who he was, as if he never existed. Just when the doctor was confused, a little boy suddenly appeared in front of the TV. When the doctor looked closer, he realized that boy was his younger self, and then a phone started ringing. The doctor snapped awake. Everything was just a dream, but the phone call brought terrible news. The hospital said something happened to the professor. When the doctor rushed to the scene, room 304 was locked the whole time, and the professor had mysteriously disappeared, leaving only layers of formulas covering the walls. The doctor stared at the wall, full of equations, and felt chills all over his scalp. A terrifying idea suddenly flashed through his mind. Did the professor actually calculate that integer and travel through time? He picked up a stray pen cap from the ground, and the more he looked at it, the more familiar it felt. Suddenly, memories he had buried deep inside woke up. He remembered when he was a child. His mother was driving and accidentally hit an old man. On the ground, there was a marker without a cap, and candy beans scattered all over. Just as he was about to take a closer look, a nurse interrupted him. On the table, there were 3 candy beans. The nurse picked one up and was about to eat it. The doctor tried to stop him, but he was already too late. The candy was already in the nurse's mouth. Then the doctor was shocked to see the candy beans on the table turn back into 3 again. The shock made everything rush back into his memory. Those were the exact candy beans from the car accident that year, and the old man his mother hit back then was actually the professor who had traveled through time. Because he came from the future, this was why the police could never confirm his identity all those years ago, and the mysterious force that seemed to stop the professor from solving that integer might have been death itself.